expecting some minor snow chances into the finish of the week, and it's going to get windy again. Latest on that coming up.
Confessing to a killing.
I did what I had to do as a parent.
A man admits to hanging his own dog. Hear the charges he faces and how he says this was an act of preservation. And restroom rules. How a line in the state budget might make it easier for you to change your baby's diaper in a public restroom.
Live in high definition, this is Western New York's news leader. Now, News 4 at 11.
They said it's indeterminate. And indeterminate to me means they don't know.
In the dark and out of the loop, some Western New Yorkers are still wondering when the lights will come back on after yesterday's strong storm. Good evening, everyone. Don is off tonight. About 2,000 customers in Western New York are still without power this evening.
And we could see more strong winds tomorrow. Our chief meteorologist, Todd Santos, is here with the forewarned forecast. Todd?
Yeah, I mean, the only bright side of this is that at least for tonight, as they're trying to get power back restored or back on, there isn't much breeze to speak of. We're talking single-digit winds and calm conditions. But tomorrow, the breeze is going to pick up, and in advance of that, we're actually going to find some minor snow coating. So this is a shot out of Gasport just a short time ago there with some minor coatings on the car here. So, you know, a number of areas you may actually have to brush the car off depending on what time you leave in the morning. If you leave at 4 a.m., well, man, it's getting kind of late tonight, but you'll actually be able to get out before any of the snow really starts. There's a look at the winds right now. I wanted to mention this piece because this really gets going tomorrow afternoon. The actual advisory starts at noon and goes through 11 p.m., but the real big piece of this is from around 3 in the afternoon to about 7 in the evening, where we'll find some of the bigger gust potential, and that could be still upwards of 50 miles per hour. In the model, notice here, you start to see the breeze picking up, and you get some good gusts into the late morning, but really it's mid-afternoon, right through the evening drive time, where we'll find some of the biggest gusts. And as we mentioned, you know, a lot of times that this model does underestimate just a little bit, which is why you see some 46s on here, and we're saying upwards of 50 miles per hour. It is still a good stretch of Western New York. It's not as long of a duration and not as strong as what we just went through, but still enough to cause some isolated power outages. Right now, the snow has moved on. This is that dry air that we were waiting for all afternoon. It's here, and it's at least kind of putting the brakes on the snow for now, but all that stuff to the west, that is heading in our direction, and it is timing out for basically right in the middle of the morning commute around Buffalo. Not going to be a whole lot of snow, but it's enough to make roads slick, especially because right now we're all in the 20s. So anything that lands during those early morning hours will likely stick, and just kind of the rough and dirty way of looking at it is up to around a ½ inch around the metro area, up to about an inch in the hills through about 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And we'll take a closer look at what you can expect really through the start of the weekend. Minimal snow amounts. It's just tough this time of the year to deal with it, but we'll make it. We'll get to summer, and we'll deal with blue skies and very warm temperatures at some point. Dave, Jackie.
In the meantime, some people might not see power come back on for days.
And a lot of them are not happy about being left in the dark, especially during this cold snap. Customers have been flooding NYSEG and our newsroom, quite frankly, with complaints. The utility's parent company already facing millions of dollars in fines for deficiencies that were uncovered after a big windstorm last year. Right now, customers are just worried about getting their lights and heat back.
There's obviously no heat, there's no hot water, because the ignition for the tank is electronic. So we got cold water, no heat.
I am a little annoyed because my fridge is still off and I just went grocery shopping. So I got a lot of that stuff, you know, just sitting in the fridge, you know, getting warm.
NYSEG told us today that customer safety is their first priority, but they could not tell us when all of their customers will have their power restored.
It was about me and my kids and that dog, and I chose my kids.
A Jamestown man said he killed the family dog to protect his children, but police say the explanation does not excuse the crime. Robert Overton Jr. is in jail tonight, charged with animal cruelty. Court documents show Overton confessed to police that he killed the family pit bull late last year. The dog, whose name was Champagne, was found hanging from a tree on Monday. Overton told Western New York News Now that Champagne became aggressive, biting at him and his children several times. He said he did what he had to do as a parent.
No matter you have a family animal, if that family animal starts to act aggressive, you're going to take hold and make sure your kids is fine.
why you do something like this, I don't think we'll ever know that. I mean, he may tell us reasons per se. You may hear things on social media why it was done, but I don't know if we'll ever truly understand why this was done.
News 4 was in Jamestown as Overton made his first court appearance today. He will be back in court on Wednesday.
The police officer who killed a woman with his cruiser last week was not required to have his lights and siren on at the time. Susan Lotempio was killed while she was out on her daily walk Friday morning in North Buffalo. Sources tell News 4 Officer Daniel Ahern was responding to a 911 call. He hit Lotempio at about 35 miles an hour. Today, Captain Jeff Rinaldo told us that the officer's response to that 911 call was appropriate.
Based on the nature of the call that the officer was responding to, it would fall either within the routine or rapid response. But based on our very preliminary investigation, the officer was following our policy, and it was not a call for service that necessarily dictated the use of the emergency lights and sirens.
BPD's Internal Affairs, State Police, and the State Attorney General's office are all investigating the crash.
He's made it his mission, I think, to make Western New York a better place.
Bills legend Jim Kelly is still recovering from surgery to remove cancer from his jaw. And now Kelly's dentist is talking about the importance of having your mouth checked for cancer.
News 4's Shannon Smith talked to him about the offer that he's extending next week and why it could save your life. Shannon?
51,000, Dave and Jackie. That's the number of people diagnosed with oral cancer in the U.S. every year. That's why dentists at Western Meyer Martin Dental Care say it's important for people to get checked, and now they want to make sure people do by offering free oral cancer screenings as a special tribute to the beloved Buffalo athlete.
He comes in regularly, you know, and he's normally doing just fine. So, yeah, that was news for us to even hear that it had come back.
For Dr. Jeffrey Martin, Bills Hall of Famer Jim Kelly isn't just a patient, he's a friend.
Jim is like one of the greatest guys, I think, that we've ever met.
And Kelly Tough, as Kelly's wife Jill puts it. Kelly continues to recover at Mount Sinai in New York City from a 12-hour surgery to remove cancer in his jaw. His family giving updates on social media, such as this picture of the couple sharing a hug. Now, Dr. Martin wants to help honor his friend by offering free oral cancer screenings April 12th. For number 12.
It's very simple. It just takes a few minutes. You know, look in somebody's mouth, look at their lymph nodes, just to make sure that everything's normal.
April is Oral Cancer Awareness Month, and Dr. Martin wants more people to know the signs of the deadly disease.
Red irritated areas or white areas, or like I say, you know, ulcers that aren't healing right away.
And as Kelly took his first steps after surgery this week, Dr. Martin says getting screened is the first step in possibly saving a life.
He wants everybody in Western New York to make sure they're screened and to make sure that they get checked out regularly, okay? So they don't have to go through, you know, what he's gone through.
Dr. Martin tells me oral cancer is becoming more common in young adults now in their 20s and 30s. Those screenings will be at both Western Meyer locations in East Aurora and in Amherst, and people can go there anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. on April 12th to be checked out. In the studio, Shannon Smith, News 4 at 11.
Tonight, we're hearing from another one of Facebook's top executives after learning that the data leak was even bigger than previously thought.
Nikki Batiste reports on the major security changes the social network is considering.
Facebook's chief operating officer Sheryl Sandberg says the social media giant will spend years improving security.
This isn't a one-time change or a one-time exercise. This is ongoing because security and safety is an arms race.
On Wednesday, the social network said most of its 2 billion plus users have likely had their personal data accessed by outsiders. While the company was quick to clarify that information was public, Sandberg admits Facebook wasn't focused enough on how Facebook data is used.
I'm really sorry for that, and Mark's really sorry. And we're taking strong action.
Sandberg says Facebook has begun working with third-party fact checkers in an effort to prevent false postings. And starting Monday, Facebook will launch a new feature.
We'll begin rolling out to everyone in the world on Facebook at the top of their newsfeed a very clear and easy way to see what apps they've shared their data with and an easy way to delete those.
Sandberg also expressed confidence in Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg's ability to lead the company. Zuckerberg is set to testify before Congress next week. Nikki Batiste, CBS News.
Well, President Trump gave some more insight about the order that he has signed that will send thousands of National Guard troops to the U.S. border with Mexico. Federal law bans the military from acting as law enforcement, but the president called the move necessary to help slow down illegal activity along the border.
We're working out systems now, and we called out the National Guard, and we're doing a real job. But I'll tell you what, the laws of this country have to be strengthened and toughened up because it is crazy.
Right now, it's not clear if the National Guard troops will be armed or how much the plan will cost.
Coming up, how diaper duty might be a little less stressful when you're out on the town.
Plus, travel tech, how UB is leading the way in research that could keep those punishing potholes from popping up.